guys, welcome to this episode of the Trainer Feed. My name is Jacques Delagere. I have here my coaches, David Bravo.
Yo, what's up?
And Angel Sanchez.
What's up? What's up?
How are we feeling today? We good? We're ready to roll?
Good, locked in.
Always,
baby. So today, the topic I wanted to speak about, truth be told, I wanted to talk about fasting, and I'm going to have to do that another time, but I want to really delve in what the fascination, and I don't know enough about it, but I crept onto nutrient timing. And, for a large amount of time when I was at university, if I was playing a sport such as hockey, people spoke about carb loading and I'd do it the day off. And people said, no, actually, I think you should do it like days before. So I never really debunked my understanding or impression of what it was. So I found a couple of articles, and this one was with the International Society of Sports Nutrition position stand, with the topic being nutrient timing. So they had a couple. First of all, let's ask what you guys know or feel about it, and then I'll just bring in some of the key points that these articles made.
I think about nutrient timing as the whole myth of eating protein right before 30 minutes or up after your workout. When they're like, hey, you got to eat that or else you're going to lose all your gains, which has been shown to be a myth. It's just not as important, I think, as people think it is, especially depending on what you've eaten throughout the day already. So I think, a lot of it just has to do with, I think, pushing an agenda that a certain company might have.
For supplementation, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, hey, buy this supplement and drink it 30 minutes drink it within 30 minutes after your workout to see maximum gains.
So it has a place to live in your daily life, right?
Exactly. So, yeah.
Good shit, David. David's going after Big Pharma.
That's pretty legit, though. That's a really good way of...
Get vaccinated, though.
Stay woke.
Keep that third eye open.
Nah, I think David's right on the money with that. But yeah, because it is like people are promoting an agenda when it comes to that stuff. I think there was legit concern, and there was bro science where people were like, I've had so much success with this and that and the third. And then it just becomes a wave. And then science comes, it's like, well, actually, that's not the case. And then people were like, but I still believe. So people holding on to like those
everything
beliefs.
Though, yeah.
But it's not to say that whoever did it, whoever had success with it, the success was fake and it was due to steroids. I'm not saying that, it's hard. It gets hard to discern like what's attributable to nutrient timing and what's attributable to steroids when steroids is in the picture. But no. I'm just saying like it is a little bit of belief, and it's not to say that they're wrong for having those beliefs and having success with those beliefs, but it's not as, it doesn't seem as if right now it's as important as just the nutrients themselves. Right? Like the nutrient timing, like having that little anabolic window, or having, I don't know if there's a catabolic window, or having the catabolic window, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Minutes, bro.
Oh, right. It's the anabolic window, but if you miss it, it becomes the catabolic window. Interesting. Stay woke.
Well, you mentioned having that 30-minute window. These guys, they feel that the timing of energy intake and the ratio of it will, again, ingestion of certain macronutrients. So not talking about supplementation, but they say it may increase recovery, tissue repair, improve muscle protein synthesis, improve mood states. What's up?
What repair?
Tissue repair.
Oh.
But something that when I make all these points, something I will be honest with, is saying that it's still an area of research. So it's not a concrete finalized study or report of saying, oh, this is the way it works, this is how it is.
Isn't fake news.
It's not fake news. I can't claim it as fake news either. But just to say that there's so many variables such as age, sex, fitness level, previous fueling systems. So if we're talking about fueling for an afternoon workout, like how did you fuel for the morning and the breakfast? How did you feel the day before for that workout? Things such as that. Things such as what your current dietary status is, what your training intensity is going to be. and then the time before you actually fuel. So all these kinds of variables all play a role. Play a role in how effective a nutrient timing is in terms of its effectiveness. And I think we spoke about that 30-minute window. I'm sure you have people that it's more effective for them to eat in that 30-minute window. Now, I mentioned mood. For me, mood is a big thing. I'm usually pretty hungry after a workout, so that's more of a mood thing for me. But I think it's quite important to mention that it just depends on the person, and it's so many variables, but also the type, the intensity you're doing, right? So something else they spoke about was recovery time. So if you're saying you're going to work out with less than 4 hours of recovery since your previous workout, I don't know, saying you do a second workout in the day, certain refueling strategies they spoke about would be aggressive carbohydrate reloading, right? And what they mean by that is 1.2 grams per kilogram per hour, excuse me,
Per
with a
kilogram
preference
of body weight.
Yeah, per hour, per gram per kilogram of per person's body weight per hour, and suggesting there would be a carbohydrate that's in with a higher glycemic, that has a high glycemic index, preferably above 70. So they're just saying that's an aggressive approach, along with caffeine, and what they say by caffeine intake being between 3 and 8 milligrams per kilogram per person, right? And then also if you combine carbohydrates with protein, but if you're combining carbohydrates at 0.8 grams per kilo per hour with between 0.2 and 0.4 grams per kilo per hour for protein. So those were some of those aggressive refeeding things they mentioned. If someone was going to repeat a workout or do a workout, 4 hours from after their first one that day. So I don't know how many people listening will do 2 workouts a day, but it's just an insight that those were some of the more successful strategies they observed in the study. And I think it's just interesting. So I think these people, these supplements, when they market their brands and how much caffeine it has, and that obviously gets you going. But I don't know. Do you still take pre-workout, David? I don't know if you do, Angel. I know, David, you have in the past, and
coffee,
but no like pre-workout shake supplement or. And when you take coffee, what kind of quantities and
you
what?
Drink coffee. Take coffee. He trying to get you with the genjutsu. I got my man David. I got your back, boy.
Take coffee. You can tell I don't drink coffee, right?
No, I just drink like a grande cold brew or something like that.
Oh, you're from Starbucks. Oh, you fancy, huh? He's so much going with that. There's a shit on him for asking him what he did. No, what's that window like for you? Is it
sorry, 30 minutes before.
At least 30 minutes before. And is that every time you work out, there's a 30-minute window before?
I try it at least. And I think that just has to do with me being conditioned to like when you do take a pre-workout, like the pre-workouts say 30 minutes before your workout. So that's kind of like stuck in my head.
So that's just more, they got you, yeah. But that's more habitual then, perhaps.
Don't call me a bitch, though.
Habitual line stepper. Remember that?
So you're
Don't call me a bitch.
No one called you that, bro. We just said you're hot. You're used to that habit.
You're hot. You're like hot, bitch.
Habitual. Get out of here. What about you, Angel?
I'll let you guys duke that one out. I'm sitting in the corner. I don't take pre-workout, but I have in the past, and at 76, like it was a lab back there.
Powders.
I took it a couple of times. But yeah, I'm not into that anymore. Even caffeine, like I'm kind of like, sometimes I drink coffee, but not all the time.
You took that
Listen, man. Sometimes you just had to get through that workout. These guys are no joke. They're strong as hell.
The guys at 76th Street, yeah,
man, I'm light. I gotta keep up. Anyway,
some serious weight.
But yeah, no, yeah, I don't drink coffee to work out. I don't intake caffeine to work out, but maybe that's why my workouts are trash too. Who knows? Like, what are you gonna do?
Maybe it's why I'm so weak.
When the pre-workout makes you feel like you can run through a wall, it's kind of hard.
Yeah,
especially when you're younger too. You're just like, damn, I'm unstoppable. And then you PR like every week.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to say. Even for athletes in performance, it's technically a performance enhancing drug. Caffeine. Yeah, when you look at it from
it's like weed, right?
Yeah. Oh, you going back to that?
Mm,
Listen, man, that's apparently what it is.
I don't think it is.
I'm trying to sell on here, David. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Dropping
what's
their hint.
going on?
It's for like, yo, you're the one posting on the stickers on the city bikes. Get that cheap
Oh
weed. That's
man,
you.
that's
Yo,
funny.
call me up.
Do you have anyway? No, I was gonna ask him about a city bike because I don't think he rides city bike.
Now you will.
I rode with Angel before.
There you go, David. You should ride city bike, man. They got ads for it everywhere.
The last time I rode a city bike, the fucking pedal came off. Remember, Jacques?
Oh,
Yeah,
and
but that's not every city
fuck
bike
that.
though. That's
Nah.
like one in 100 you'll get that.
I got hit by a van this week.
Oh,
I'm not joking. I'm
Oh,
good,
that's not funny.
obviously.
You're
No,
fine though.
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, Jacques saw my bike the other day, so like he knows I'm good.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So laughing is fine.
We can laugh about it because you're fine. I had one bad accident on a bike where I flipped 180 over and I was right in the middle of the road on 70th and Broadway.
Yeah.
That was self-induced though.
Wait, David, you too? What happened? Let's talk about it.
Years ago.
Let's unpack that.
I was away, and my dumbass thought I could out bike the bus,
You try to cut the bus off?
and then I was like, "Nah, let me stop playing." And then I like, I slowed down a little bit, but then I lose control, and I bumped something, and I went like, "Whoo!"
Oh,
Damn.
you fell?
Big gash here.
Oh, no kidding. Like Harry
No helmet,
Potter.
nothing.
You didn't see the scar
Damn.
anymore, Bear.
No helmet?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but now do you wish you did have a helmet on
Oh,
though?
definitely. Yeah.
No, he's like, now I don't bike.
Now I just don't bike.
Yeah.
I have clients who said to me,
Yeah,
"Oh, what's the helmet going to do if you fall anyway?" I was like, "Are you crazy?"
they're crazy.
Yeah, and this story about me falling over, I didn't tell Alex for about a month, and then
Yeah,
because then I had
the same.
well, what they don't know doesn't hurt them, but
Oh shit.
I had a cyst on my finger, and I was like, "Oh no, this thing's on the nerve." I had to get it out, and I had to tell her, and she's like, "Well, how did it happen?" I was like, "Oh shit, here we go." She's like, "You're getting a helmet now," so I got a helmet there and then.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's for the better.
It's for the better, and I could have so like you mentioned landing on your head. Thankfully, you didn't get any real brain damage. I say real brain damage, so you got some. That's again not funny, but you should, it could have been a lot worse. I was thinking about how I got this. I could be dead, and that's extreme, but it's the reality of, and that's why I just now, like, I'll wear it even if I feel like it's a pain in the ass. But if it means, it helps me, I'll do it and whatever.
Bro, it
And
means you're weak.
yeah,
Nah,
call me weak for
man,
being
totally
careful.
kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have the
playing.
scooter now. Oh, what a game changer. This stuff is like 20 miles an hour. So zip, 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 zip. I'm like, no red lights for me. Zip.
Okay. All right.
No, but
Anyway.
I think the last thing I wanted to touch on about intensity with exercise, they spoke about, let's say we all work out for about an hour, roughly, right? They suggested anything more than 60 minutes of high intensity when your VO max is above 70%.
VO2 max.
You should try and, what's up?
VO2 max.
VO2 max. You should try and supply with fuel and fluid regularly, and you should consume it at a rate of 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour in a 6 to 8% carbohydrate electrolyte solution, which ends up being between 6 and 12 ounces. And they're suggesting doing this every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the workout, assuming you go past 70 minutes as well. I think it's a lot, right?
That's how you drink Gatorade or like a fucking juice or gummy bears while you're working out.
Yeah.
Gatorade is like, I'm like, every time I drink a Gatorade, I'm like, I'm going to get cavity from drinking this. I just, my teeth are sensitive.
I love Gatorade, bro.
I love it. I just can't hack it. I know it's a lot of information, but what do you guys think about that? Because I don't think I'm fine with just drinking water during the workout.
I think
And
the majority of people that are working out in a regular commercial gym should not be worrying about all that.
should not be
Yeah.
worried about that.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
This is also working with athletes as well. I was
gonna
mention that.
say, yeah, working with athletes and outdoors, that's actually something that you do have to be wary of because there's a likelihood that they're gonna either collapse or have a heat stroke or something like that. So you have to be very mindful of their hydration, but also electrolyte consumption. So
Yeah.
if it's about athletes and if it's about working out outdoors, there are some really strict guidelines when it comes to that. And yeah, like if you're thirsty, I know one of my clients asked me, she was like, "Oh, I was reading something that says you should only really drink she said that she read something or heard something that said you should only drink when you're thirsty, and it's kind of like all the hype about hydrating is not worth whatever. And I told her like that's not true. Because if you wait till you're thirsty to drink, then you're already dehydrated. Like that's your body telling you that you're dehydrated, and you've been dehydrated. Not you're dehydrated right now, starting now. Like you've been
For a
dehydrated
while.
for the past couple of minutes, hours, days, weeks, Lord knows.
As soon as
But
you're thirsty, you're like, oh nah, I'm done.
yeah, and I was telling her that when it comes to training athletes, especially outdoors, like if you wait till they're thirsty in order to give them, the Gatorade, they're gonna
You're
pass out or
behind.
have a heat stroke.
Yeah, you're behind the
You need
ball right there.
to step that up. And that's why you see all that stuff, especially like when watching sports, like those people.
Tennis is
I
a good
always wonder
example.
how much money those people make.
Which ones?
The water boys.
Oh, yeah, but I laugh how they're like squeezing my mouth. I can't do it myself.
I know. So in football, it's because of the helmet, right?
Yeah, but still, it's not that you can't
Still,
do it.
no, that's fair. And then do they do that in tennis, or tennis they just give them the
With
bottle?
tennis, all the players are very specific about what they have on. So a really good example is watching Rafa Nadal, because he has like 3-4 different bottles. Everything's all different, but he's interesting because he's a little OCD, so he's very specific about routines and timing. But tennis is hard to predict because you don't know if you're going to be on court for an hour or 5 or 6. You don't know where that window is. If you're playing one of these games in the NFL, NHL, NBA, whatever kind of professional game, you typically have a good outline of how long you're performing for. Tennis, you don't know.
Because
it
you
depends.
can go up in the brackets, right? And you can.
Well, you don't know if you play. You don't know if the person you're playing is trash and you beat them in like 40 minutes and they don't win a game. You don't know if it ends up being a 5-set match. The Nadal and Djokovic, there's been some matches where the time on court was 6 hours. But if you factor in the time off between that, it ends up being 6.5 hours since they finished. There was a game I saw in September. They got on court around 2:30. They didn't finish till 7:40.
What?
It was a 5-set match, dude. And you have, but that's what I'm saying is the next match the guy played was like 2 hours. So it went from 5 and a bit hours to 2 the next round. It's the same person, but you have to learn to fuel. And that's why every 10, 15 minutes at the changeover, because they have it's the first 3 games and the next 2 games in a set. They have a break. They sit down for 1:30, I want to say, something like that. So that's when they refuel and rest and whatever. But I think it's what's kind of hard about that sport is you don't know. You can't feel.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was like that different in the time sense.
Yeah, so that can be a little hard to predict. But yeah, I thought it was a good topic to cover. Sure, there's more in the future.
Do they hold their water bottles though?
No, because honestly, when you're on court, it's technically the players, the umpire, and then the ball boys, ball girls. At this year's US Open, they didn't even have people calling the ball in or out. They had machines. So you couldn't, if in the previous years, if you had someone say, "Oh, out," and you're like, "All right, let me challenge it," you didn't even have a challenge because everything's done through machines where they see the ball lands and then they project a replay based on the speed, the direction, and the weight of the ball. They go, "Oh, this is what it recreate the picture," and boom, it's called Hawkeye. So you couldn't, but it was weird. So there's few people on the court. And going back to your question, what they do is the players bring their own water and liquids and food on with them in their bags, whatever. Then they have them between the points or between the games. So they're all responsible for their own stuff, but no one comes on court.
I see.
Like coaching wise, yeah.
Robots taking our jobs.
Pretty much, cost them less, right? Less human error.
That's true, right? It's like slow-mo and replays, right?
Yeah. Like VAR. Cool. So this was good. I'm glad we got to discuss this. You guys let us know. We don't have a Twitter, do we? You should tweet us. Maybe we'll start Twitter. DM us, Definitely David's Instagram. Slide right in there. Slide in the trainer feed DMs. We're live from us.
Open 24/7.
Stop commenting on our posts about collaborating though. This stuff's we don't want that. Just slide on DMs. Thank you.
Bots.
The bots. The bot army. Let's get rid of them. But yeah, and like and subscribe on us on YouTube. I think that's pretty much about it.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Deuces.
Later.
Deuces.